This week on the Convincing Idiots podcast, episode number 149, we talk about some great stuff like the Barbie movie, the Screen Actors Guild strike.
Oh, you can't forget the question of the week. We talk about The Dark Knight. Does it still hold up? It's been 15 years. What do we think?
Main segment tonight, movie soundtracks. Some great ones out there like Forrest Gump.
Oh, that's a good one. Man, I can't wait. I'm excited about Saturday Night Fever. Come on, Barry Gibb. What?
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned that, Dean. Who's not excited for Saturday night? And who's not excited for the rest of this episode of Convincing Idiots? So, without further ado, let's start the show. Yeah.
All right. Test.
Test.
Call it again?
Convincing Idiots.
Convincing Idiots.
Called it ham gravy.
I informed them that I sided with the stat man, not just anyone's opinion, the stat man Brian Fisher.
These kids today.
Jingle All the Way is in fact the best Christmas movie of all time.
I need to get Grandma a present, and my herpes is flaring up. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Yo. I'm the millennial
We're
Santa.
three friends representing three different generations. That's our whole shtick. That's our thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nick got the whole poop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm standing in the sea
Caucasian.
breeze, holding a turd, just mightily.
I'm just going hitting hats.
Anyway, on a lighter note,
Welcome to the podcast. Welcome to the vodcast. Welcome to the broadcast. Boys and girls, welcome to the show. This is Convincing Idiots. My name's Dean, the Zennial.
I'm Brian Jennings.
And I'm a millennial, and my name is Nick. And we are Convincing Idiots, a weekly podcast of three friends representing three different generations. We get together almost each and every week to discuss nerd and pop culture issues of the day. So if you've not already done so, we would like to humbly invite you to find us on all of your favorite social media accounts. If you have a hard time remembering all of them because there are so many now, we're one step ahead of you. All you have to do is go to Google and type in Convincing Idiots Linktree, Linkree, and there you will find links to all of our social media accounts. All of that and so much more is available on our website. That's convincingidiots.wordpress.com. You can also find our merch store on there. You can find links to where you can listen to this podcast each and every week. So be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, follow, interact, poke if that's still an option, whatever, on all your favorite
Touch
social
yourself
media
while you're listening.
Absolutely. I mean, we kind of assumed that was happening already, but if you're not and you need an invitation, feel free to do that as well. We're also available on B.O.S.S Code TV. If you're not familiar with B.O.S.S Code TV, it's an app for your smart device, your smart television, your smartphone. It is a lot of original content creator stuff on there. We're on there, as well as our friends on It Came From Gen X. So be sure to check us out on B.O.S.S Code TV as well. So we are, like I said off the top, we are typically, loosely, a weekly podcast, but we took off last week. Everybody kind of had other stuff going on, so... Dean is the main reason we could not all be together. He was, well, we're going to blame it on Dean. He was unavailable to us. So, Dean, what have you been up to in the last couple weeks that have passed?
Well, I could not do the show because I was part of an art exhibit for Big Cox. And, you know, I'm not allowed to really say more until...
Were you like
the DVD
watching the
comes
door
out.
then, or you were like
Oh,
one
I
of
was
those guys
watching all right.
standing by the red rope, or?
Well, it's like you're getting to know people, their personality, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah, nobody wants to do that with me. No, I was on vacation to the Outer Banks North Carolina. Family all went down there and swam in the ocean, got sunburnt, got to see where the Wright brothers did their first flight, Kitty Hawk. That was neat.
Very
Brought
cool.
back some beer here. We got the Swan Beach Honey Pale Ale tonight.
Very good.
Yeah, Northern Outer Banks Brewing Company. No, so I had a week off of work and everything, and so unfortunately, I missed you two. Now I'm back. I'm raring to go. Sun kissed, and hopefully by the end of the show, I will be kissed by both of you.
Well, I, for one, was very glad that you were gone because you brought me back some of that beer from the Outer Banks. That was very good. Thank you. So
you take care of the cat, you get you got to be rewarded for such things.
That's right. I'll take it. I mean, I would hang out with Ernie for no fee, but
Sure.
the free beer does not hurt the matter at all. So it's a win-win.
That's right. Yeah, but other than that, there's not a lot going on besides back from vacation, back to the grind, as they say, back to work.
Okay. And you made it back from your little scheme down there without any sort of legal issue, I see.
Nope, none at all.
Good.
How many IDs did you sell minors?
Brian, I don't think I'm allowed to. I shouldn't discuss things like that. Appreciate it if you'd not try to incriminate me.
Appreciate it if you'd shut your whore mouth.
Oh, no. I want his whore mouth open. I just don't want fucking words coming out. Yeah, so what about you guys? Nick, I know you had a fun little time off.
I did. Yeah, I did. We had a kind of within the last week, we had a week of firsts for the kids. We went to Cedar Point last Thursday. That's actually why Brian and I couldn't even record, is because then that was an all-day affair. We got there at 10:30 in the morning and left at 10:30 at night. So it was a 12-hour shift at Cedar Point. A lot of fun. We initially weren't too sure if we were going to go because the weather was kind of looking kind of sketchy, but it actually turned out to be really nice. They had a nice little Christmas in July promotion. Tickets were pretty reasonable, and we went with our friends and their daughter as well. So it was a really good time. The longest we waited was like a half hour for the wrap.
Oh, wow.
So that wasn't too bad.
No.
So Oliver's 48 inches, so he could ride a lot of the things, but not some of the bigger coasters. So he rode a lot of the wooden roller coasters, Iron Dragon, all that fun stuff. Lane was tall enough to ride everything, and he pretty much did. I got him on the Millennium Force with me. That was definitely the highlight. He was all revved up and ready to go, and then we were at the gates getting ready to board the car, and he looks at me, and he's looking up at the Millennium Force, and he's like, "It's probably too late now, huh? To like not get on." And I was like, "Oh yeah, it's way too late. Like, this is my favorite ride, and we've been in line for 20 minutes. Like, which is not a long time at all, but still, I'm like, oh, we're going. Like, you'll be fine. You're gonna love it. I promise you. Like, once it happens, you're gonna love it."
And he did.
So, all the way up, click, click, click. He's doing this like squirmy thing in his seat, and he's like, "I shouldn't have agreed to do this. I'm like, you're fine. You're fine. I would never put you in a position of danger. You're fine. Or if something bad does happen, I'll probably die with you. So it's just totally fine. Like, there's nothing to worry about."
There you go.
But we had an absolute blast. He even rode shit that I wouldn't ride. So it was a lot of fun between Robin and myself. Each one of us, she likes the more carnival style rides, the tight turns, things like that. That stuff makes me dizzy. I like coasters. So between us, we were able to, with Oliver and Lane, split up the rides that we wanted to ride and things that we could ride together. And it was a lot of fun. So Cedar Point was really cool. And then just this week on Tuesday, the kids got to go to their first concert ever. We got tickets for them to see Fall Out Boy at Blossom Music Center. They're both big fans of them. And they were also with Bring Me the Horizon, which I did not know when I bought tickets, but I love them, and they were fantastic. So kids had a really nice time. It helped to know some people. We'll just say that. We got put into some nice little space all to ourselves. Great view of the show. The kids danced their hearts out, and the Fall Out Boy played all their favorite songs. Oliver was actually a big fan of Bring Me the Horizon, so I don't know if either of you two are familiar with them, but they're a little heavier. They've got a little bit of mix of everything, but certainly their first few albums, I think their first one was like 2005, but their first 3 or 4 albums are really heavy. So Oliver couldn't decide what merch he wanted to get, if he wanted, what shirt or hat or whatever. So about 5 songs into Bring Me the Horizon, and the screaming starts happening, and he leans over me, and goes, "I've made my decision. I want a shirt of these guys." So it was really cool.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun, and the singer for Bring Me the Horizon, also named Ollie, same as my son, he came out through the crowd, and he was right behind us, like right on the other side of the rail, and it was just really cool, really awesome experience. So everybody sounded great. Fall Out Boy sounded great. There was 4 bands total. Everybody was good. The music was good. Beautiful night. Comfortable out. Food and beer was painfully expensive, but it was a great experience. I wouldn't change it. So all in all, really nice time off. Got to do a lot of fun stuff. So, but excited to be back with you, fine gentlemen. Brian, what have you been up to, sir?
Very nice. Well, not quite as exciting as you guys, but Allie and I had a nice weekend last weekend.
Lame.
Saw a nice.
Sorry, you're usually the interesting one out of the 3 of us, so it's kind of odd that Dean and I did fun things, and Brian's like, I didn't do much.
We had fun. I mean, we saw a nice Journey tribute band, and Journey and Foreigner tribute bands on Friday at the downtown Akron Block 3. That was a lot of fun. Hung out with the Skinners, which was nice.
Did you find out what love is?
Yes.
Okay,
I
good.
think so. Yeah.
Did you have to beg Allie to show you?
Years ago. Years ago now. Yeah. It'll be 5 years for us this year. So yeah, many years ago.
Wow, look at that.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes, indeed. And then
She deserves
she and
a medal.
You're not there yet, though, so just
got like a Purple Heart almost.
Right?
Yeah. We went to Hinckley, Ohio on Saturday, Allie and I, and the weather did manage to cooperate for us. We took a nice hike, a nice rugged hike through some very cool like rock. It was pretty, like I said, it was no joke. I mean, you had to really pay attention to the trail. I mean, you talk about spray paint marks on trees and stuff. Just had to really watch. We got turned around once and found our way back, fairly easily, but still, it makes you think like, oh, geez, you can get lost in these woods, very easily if you're not careful.
Sure.
Anyway, did that and then went to the Foster's Tavern in Hinckley. Had a great burger, the very good menu, and Hoppy Dudes Brewery. I'll give them a shout out. Also in Hinckley, known for their pickle beer. So if you like pickles, go there and check it out. It is almost like drinking pickle juice. And then they also do a version where they put a little bit of Bloody Mary mix in the pickle beer. So it's a bloody pickle. So it's a very unique blend of flavor.
I had one of those one time in high school. It turned out it was infected, but everything turned out okay.
Yeah.
Had a bloody pickle.
Yeah.
You have an ointment for that? Some pills?
There you go.
A little extra spit shine. Good as new.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was a nice weekend. And then last evening, hung out with Dean and Megan and Lynn and Mike and Jeff for some trivia at Ignite. That was a nice evening.
Did you? I was gonna say, did you win?
Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah, a lot of people out playing. It was a beautiful evening. A lot of people on the patio.
Great.
Yeah.
A lot of excuses for just being dumb. It's just you could just say you guys were dumber. And
well, no. There was a question that actually Mike had the right answer to. And he was telling everybody, and I'm the one typing in the answers, and he looks right at me. I'm looking at him, and he says, "What was it? Kansas was the answer."
The correct answer was Kansas, and you put Texas in the answer.
Because I thought I heard Texas, and we got it wrong. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I don't think that would have made the difference to win the game, but didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
You had one fucking job. All you had to do was type. You don't even have to think. Damn it.
Out of all, everybody with their spelling skills, I'm the one that you choose to fucking type this shit in. That's on you guys, really. Let's think about this.
Yeah, we're already taking a gamble there.
Who gave the grammar position to Dean?
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah, dumb. But that's it. So we were off last week, so why don't we get into some idiot reviews here, guys? Nick, why don't we start with you? Have you watched anything or heard anything or whatever that you wish to review, sir? Go right ahead.
I actually powered through season 1 of FX's The Bear. It's the kid that I can't ever remember that guy's name. He played Lip on Shameless. He's the main character. It was a really great cast. There's different actors from other things. Maddie Matheson, the chef, is in the show as well, and it's just a really cool show. It's about, it's a drama, definitely entertaining, definitely got its funny parts, but I'd say it's mostly a drama. about a very successful chef who has left his late brother's sandwich shop in Chicago is their family shop, and he's basically got to pick up the pieces. His brother had a lot of problems, and he's trying to basically save the restaurant and the family legacy and everything that comes along with that. Really, really good show, really well done. So season 2 just actually came out within the last month. So I watched season 1. Robin had already seen season 1 and really liked it a lot, and I'd always wanted to watch it. So powered through that. We're ready to start on season 2, but I would strongly recommend The Bear. Half-hour show, like 8 episodes in the first season. Really good show. And then the other night I watched a movie called The Haunting of Sharon Tate. It was made in 2019, and I know of this because Hilary Duff plays Sharon Tate. So I've always wanted to watch it, and I'm like,
sure.
So, and I've never seen her in a role that was, a serious or horror role or whatever.
So was is she a ghost? Is she the ghost of Sharon Tate?
I don't know if any. I don't know whoever would be listening that would want to watch this. I don't know. It was a fine movie. It was okay. But I don't want to give too much away. I'll call it a reimagining. There are a lot from the murders, the Manson family murders, that are, historically accurate for what they know about it. Certainly in this movie, situationally speaking, but it's just different.
Well, I mean, they did the same thing once upon a time in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
It was the same. It was the reimagining of that night. Did you ever see it?
No, that's one of what.
Brad Pitt's Quentin Tarantino movie. It's actually.
Okay. I was thinking, that's Once Upon a Time in Mexico. Johnny Depp in one or something like that, or Antonio Banderas or something like that.
Antonio Banderas was in
Banderas.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, it's I don't know. Think a nugget of information. Think along the lines of Marvel Universe. That mentality. It's like I said, it's a reimagining. So it was interesting. It was an interesting take on the situation. No, it's actually free. It's just on YouTube. You can go and watch the whole movie on YouTube. So it was, like I said, I'd heard of it a few years back. Being the Hilary Duff admirer that I am. But yeah, we were watching a documentary that kind of touched on the Manson murders, and it kind of got the wheels spinning. And when we laid down, I was like, I'm going to watch this movie finally. So we checked it out, and it was, like I said, it was fine. It wasn't like you have to go see it. Super original, super amazing, super, whatever. It was fine. It definitely had you feel intense at quite a few moments. And in certain areas. Huh?
You mean like camping?
It had me in a tent. I had a tent going on myself in the bed. You know what I'm saying? Hilary Duff admirer as I am. But it was it definitely, until you don't really fully understand what all's happening, I think, until the end as far as the storytelling goes. And so there's a lot of areas in the movie where you're like, what? But I don't know. It's an interesting movie. It wasn't a waste of time, but it certainly wasn't like it's something you got to rush out and see. But The Haunting of Sharon Tate, like I said, was made in 2019, and it's free on YouTube. So it's kind of interesting take on the whole thing. So that's about it for me, though. That's all I can think of. So, Brian, you had time to watch stuff. What did you watch?
Yeah, I saw a couple things here. I was just looking through movies on Amazon Prime the other day, and saw The World's End. This is from 2013. So this is a couple of the guys from Shaun of the Dead. It's like the main two guys, Shaun and his buddy, his roommate. It's those two guys as well. The guy that's in the Marvel movies that plays like the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent was in this as well.
Okay.
And a few other people. So entertaining. I mean, the premise is basically these guys were, trying to relive some glory days. They're trying to do a bar crawl. They tried to do it when they were younger.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer for this. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, and it's fun. But they, one guy is sort of a, kind of a loser, still kind of living in the past and all that type of stuff. And he manages to get his friends back there. And the dynamic they find is that the town that they grew up in has now been taken over by robots, like androids. But they're still trying to go on this crawl. It was just an interesting, funny. If you like Shaun of the Dead, you'll find this entertaining. So those
Is that
guys
Simon
are funny.
Pegg? Is that his name? Simon
Yes.
Pegg?
I think that's right. Yeah,
I can't remember the other guy's name, but yeah.
I'll look it up here. But anyways, yeah, check out The World's End. And again, it's free on Amazon Prime. New reality series launched on Netflix. I'm really going through these pretty quickly here. Quarterback. So this is a Peyton Manning produced reality mini series. It's like 8 episodes, and it followed last season. They followed it's live. Nothing censored, whatever. They had Kirk Cousins from the Vikings, Patrick Mahomes from the Chiefs, obviously, who won the Super Bowl, which of course they would, how would you know before you started filming that season? So that was very interesting to see him. And Marcus Mariota from the Falcons. So all 3 players had very unique seasons last year. Marcus Mariota wound up he was like a chance to start again. He got benched, sort of disappeared from the team, kind of, but it really takes you with those guys behind the scenes. You get to see their families. They interview their wives. You get to see them, living at home with their kids. A couple, Marcus had a new baby, as did Patrick Mahomes last year during the season. You get to see them, dealing with injury, just normal life type stuff, but the dynamic of the football season as well. So you get a nice blend of, NFL stuff and professional athletes living normal lives and all that. And of course, Kirk Cousins had a very disappointing playoff loss and this and that. But yeah, so definitely if you're a football fan, check it out. Quarterback on Netflix. Very, very good. And for rent, I caught a new movie just at random, 2023 movie, Blackberry. Found this on Amazon Prime.
I can't wait to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, like $7 to rent. It's a fictionalized story of how the Blackberry phone got started.
I think I saw the previews for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Glenn Howerton from Always Sunny's in there. Jay Baruchel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great movie. It's rated like 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, I noticed as well, but very entertaining. It's just, we all know the story of Blackberry. It was like the hugest thing for a while. Yeah, I did too. I had a Blackberry until the iPhone, of course, came in and eventually killed everybody else and knocked out the competition. But yeah, very entertaining movie. Check it out. Blackberry for rent on Amazon Prime and other streaming services. There you go.
Nice.
Dean, how about you?
I watched a lot of The Ocean.
Dean saw The Ocean.
Good. That's nice.
No, the other day we did. We watched. Went through the whole season of Unstable. On that is Rob Lowe and his son. John Owen Lowe.
Yeah. On Netflix.
Yeah. Rob Lowe plays like a. I don't know. That was
like a scientist. Excuse me, scientist.
Okay. Yeah, he's like a tech scientist type deal, and it loses his wife. She dies. He didn't misplace her, and then he goes ahead and kind of goes a little crazy, a little eccentric, and they bring his son back from New York to try to calm him down, and shenanigans ensue, and it's pretty funny. It's not the best show I've ever seen, but it was quite entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
It was no convincing idiots on YouTube, is what you're saying.
No. No, I mean, that has like three times the sexiness that show has.
Sure.
So.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Sorry, Rob Lowe, you never stood a chance.
Nope, not with this face. Yeah. Other than that, I don't have anything. Can I use my time here to tell you how excited I am for the Oppenheimer movie?
Sure.
Holy shit, that thing looks good.
So you're going to see that before Barbie then? Is that what?
Well, it was a tough choice, but I think I'm going to make the right one here. Yeah, Oppenheimer. I mean, the cast is incredible. the cast alone will bring anybody in. That's a Avengers, type movie, with the cast and everything.
So it's like the Scarecrow from Batman with nuclear testing or something. Is that right? Something like that? What is it about?
It's our idiot question of the week. I don't want to know if we want to spoil it, but it's directed by the same fellow.
Aha.
So, yep, there we go.
Yeah. Not me, but I'm pointing at my shirt.
Yes, it's Brian. Brian directed it.
Yeah.
Let's see. You got Cillian Murphy. He also was in Peaky Blinders, which
that's right.
I don't know about reviewing, but we did 2 episodes of that tonight. So I'm continuing on that. But yeah, it's just Cillian Murphy, Robert Downey Jr., Matt Damon, Rami Malek, Emily Blunt. Yeah, it's just ridiculous the cast here, and I'm quite excited. And I will be giving my review next week. So I've only watched one thing this past week, and probably next week, but that will be it.
Very good.
Right.
Yeah, I do want to see that too.
That's like the big thing is like Barbie or Oppenheimer's like the bit. Like, has there never been 2 big movies come out at the same time? Like, why has it's been like a massive thing? I don't know if it's because there's such like there's stark contrasts or whatever. Or
dichotomy between how different they are. I think is what people find interesting. Maybe I don't know. I can't imagine why the Barbie movie would be any fucking good, anyways. Right?
Well, actually, that's a sort of a prelude. We're going to talk about the Barbie movie a little bit in pop culture headlines. Yes, we are.
Oh,
get fucking ready.
Yeah, no shit. Right. I guess, right?
Yeah.
Hey, if Ryan Gosling's a part of a film, I'm interested. I am interested.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll hear what you got.
There we go.
That's right.
So, anyways, moving on. That's everything I've seen, Brian.
No, that's good. So we kind of teased the pop culture headlines. We're going to come up and talk about the Barbie movie and a few other things. And
that's called a big old tease, just like Ryan Gosling.
Right. That's right.
Just like Brian just seen his foot under the table last night. What a tease.
That's right.
I'm like, I was all excited. I'm like, what's he gonna do? Is he gonna give me, a big old boner, or maybe he's gonna read to me a little bit about insurance? Because both of them are gonna give me a hard on. Because let me tell you about Blake Insurance. Well, that's a way to start a promo.
Yeah. The answer's Kansas. Texas. What?
It's the shape of Texas in my pants now.
Did Aaron write that line in this ad read?
He did.
I really want you to say that your pants have an ink blot like the shape of Texas on them. Just make sure you say that when you read for my business. Good.
It's in the contract, actually. Those words. Let me tell you, Blake Insurance is an Erie insurance agency located right here in Barberton, Ohio. They provide auto, home, renters, and business insurance with honesty, decency, and affordability. Erie Insurance is above all else in service. You want to call 234-571-5359 or visit BlakeInsuranceLLC.com for your free 5-minute quote today. And when you do, tell them that I did not make that read a dirty, filthy read. It was pleasant and family friendly. And then get some insurance.
I was told that your insurance is orgasmic, and I'm here for a free 5-minute quote.
I'm going to need insurance and a mop. Clean up on aisle 2.
Flash flood is in effect.
Yeah, it is.
All right, guys. Well, that's all right.
Brian, bring us back on the rails, quick.
That's right. Some men, like Dean, just want to watch the world burn.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
true.
Want to come back after the break and listen to pop culture headlines and our Ask an Idiot question of the week.
I'm blowing this shit up, walking away.
Be right back.
4, 3.
Welcome back to Convincing Idiots. We're not on strike. Some people are on strike. We are not on strike. We
Some
continue
wish
to.
we were.
Our
That's
comedy
right.
writers are on strike, but we
Yes,
are not.
they've been on strike since
Luckily, we don't have
episode
comedy.
3.
Inception.
Yeah, yeah. The first 2 episodes are great. 3 forward, we're still working through it. This is episode 149. So, we're not on strike, but the Screen Actors Guild, gentlemen, is now on strike, joining the writers' strike. So I don't know if you saw this. This is pretty big in pop culture and entertainment news, and a lot of productions are going to be held up for a while. Similar to the writer's strike, some people may just, these are just overpaid people. They just want more money and this and that and the other. Well, that is part of it. Certainly there's a lot of actors that are not hugely paid. There's a lot of people
You
trying
only
to
have like 1% of like actors that are up that echelon of like,
You're right.
Yeah, like super
Rich.
pop. Yeah, rich.
Yeah,
and
hell,
famous,
the majority. I was hearing one of the actors talk about it the other day, and he was kind of saying that like when they say you get a TV show and you're going out to Vancouver, so for that season you're going out to Vancouver, they give you like a X amount of money for the move to stay out there, and then that's it. You still have to rent cars, you have to still pay rent and pay rent back at home. Like there's all these expenses, and they're not getting paid nearly what some of the upper echelon actors would be getting. So I mean, they're still just getting by.
That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of people just. I think it's a misperception. Is what I'm saying. When people say actors, a lot of people just like an athlete. They're all overpaid, and maybe athletes maybe is not a good example, but certainly actors are not all overpaid. Sorry, Dean, go ahead, finish your thought.
No, I was just saying that another example was Nick. You saw the was it 2019 or whatever in the teens, the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers movie that they did.
Yes, yeah.
The guy who played the head in the thing, the blue head guy, whatever his name is.
Oh, Zordon. Bryan Cranston.
Then maybe they were talking about a different.
Okay, Bryan Cranston was Zordon in that.
Okay, well, this
movie,
one was a younger guy who was in this, but he got paid like what they say, $150 or whatever for the day, or again, lower number. It doesn't matter the exact number, but he got paid that during the day for the day. I'm sorry, and they ended up using him throughout the whole movie because they just did different expressions and just repeated it. So shit like that, they're fighting for stuff like that about, how work is paid. And then also if the movie goes streaming, he doesn't see shit.
Yeah.
A lot of these, especially like character actors that are in the background and stuff aren't getting paid shit for and residuals. So it's almost like stealing their likeness. They can use it, get it once, and then just bam, 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 keep repeating it, using it wherever they want to, and then
they make off of it, but you don't. Yeah,
exactly. So,
yeah, and that's sort of some of what they're asking for in their demands. So, I'm reading this from NBCNews.com. So, SAG and AFTRA's members are seeking a new contract that they believe must account for the economic realities of the streaming revolution and the risks posed by emerging digital technologies like AI. So I'm just going to read it here. The Guild would like to increase performer-based compensation, which union leaders say has declined dramatically as entertainment companies pivot away from paying out residuals, a type of royalty that was more common when popular shows were sold into syndication instead of banked exclusively on streaming services. And members are also alarmed by the rise of artificial intelligence, such as tools that can create digital composites of popular stars. The Guild has called for tighter regulations and safeguards that protect actors against the quote, unauthorized use of their voices, likenesses, and performances. So, again, but this, like, the writers don't want the use of AI to learn how to write. The actors are concerned, probably rightfully so,
Sure.
that AI could be taught how to, I don't know, like maybe an example could be, do I have the likeness of Harrison Ford for Indiana Jones? I'm just making something up here. So would I be able to create a new Indiana Jones property with Harrison Ford's likeness, who's Indiana Jones, that maybe
What's
I
stopping us
own?
from seeing a new Humphrey Bogart movie?
Sure. Yeah, unless there's some type of contractual things, right? His estate should certainly benefit if you're going to see Humphrey Bogart, for that example. So yeah, so just it's the continued rise of this technology. These folks are trying to get ahead of it and protect themselves. So makes sense to me. Yeah. So
it's got to be tough.
Nick,
I mean,
go ahead.
an ever-changing landscape. These are issues that you couldn't have imagined 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like,
Right.
so as the landscape changes and as technology can do different things, they got to look out for, what they bring to the table, their likenesses, and I get it. I definitely understand, and there's really kind of got to be a hard thing to navigate. We've just never seen anything quite like this before, so it's definitely pretty interesting.
Well, I mean,
Go ahead,
they went ahead and all that they're looking to is to renew and re-up their contracts, right? I mean, when you and I did for here, Brian was reasonable. He stopped beating us. He beat us less before the show.
Right.
So,
yeah.
And we got what we wanted.
That's all we really asked for. I mean, it was
Just
nothing.
one less beating.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least lower it.
Yeah. When heavy petting crosses that line into beating, that's where it's kind of, it's a bit much.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I like
no more in the
getting beat down
face. No more in the face. We got to keep the
money
the
maker
talent.
here.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly. Yeah.
I mean, you beat off on the face. There's no beating the face.
Right. Exactly. Dean, any other thoughts on this strike or demands or anything? As I ask you while you're taking a drink here.
I just don't understand the the reasoning what the studios could argue with this.
Well, let's see. Go ahead. I'll tell you.
No, okay.
Go ahead.
I don't understand. Like, you're asking for you not to use my likeness whenever, wherever you want, and if so, you pay me for it. How is that not reasonable?
Right.
Like, I get that the studios are trying to make money and whatnot, but how much money? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, just some of the quotes from this. Go ahead, Nick.
I would say, what more can you ask to own other than your own face? Like, I mean, it's
right.
like, is that so crazy just to be like, hey, you can't use my likeness without my permission, or else, you got to pay me.
Yeah, according to this article, it's really the studios are more upset in that they felt they wanted to continue to negotiate and not have the actors just walk away and halt production. So that's what's, at least according to this article, that's where executives are more upset about. Like Bob Iger from Disney is saying that, it's a terrible time for them just to walk out because we're still in this business trying to recover from COVID and everything. So if you guys halt production,
that's a valid point.
That hurts everybody.
Sure.
Including you guys who want to get more money. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Yeah, I get that part too.
I'm on the side of the actors and writers, but I do get that, hey, let's work and negotiate and come to a term.
Sure.
Now, if they just don't budge, again, we also don't know how long they've been negotiating. Maybe they have ran out the time and go, you know what? There's just nothing. You're not giving anything, so we're going to walk. So we don't know that. So I guess we can't really speak on that.
Well, yeah, the writers have been on strike for more than 2 months. And again, I don't know, like you say, how long they've been trying to negotiate their deal. And I get the streaming thing too. I mean, it's like, the days of the, like it says here, I mean, just, selling Seinfeld only to syndication, for example, where the only way you can watch it is on reruns on a network that has the commercials and everything else. So, they're going to get paid more money for that, the actors on there. But when you I know that they certainly made a chunk of money to sell the rights to show it on Netflix, for example. So certainly Seinfeld and those guys, and they've made some money from that. But I don't know if it's at the level of syndication. Just don't know. Plus you have to have a super popular property like that. Some of these more fringe shows that maybe had a shot in syndication are just going to show up on Peacock or something like that, and they may not get anything. Or not next to nothing. But I don't know what they would make for that, but probably not as much as syndication. So yeah. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll definitely keep an eye on all this. I feel like it's probably going to go on for a little while, and some of these movies that we might be looking forward to, like I see, like Deadpool 3 and a few other big ones, might just be on hold for a little bit. So hopefully they can work all that stuff out.
There was a writer's strike not too terribly long ago, right?
Sure.
Wasn't it within the last 10 years?
Still on strike.
It was.
Before. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
yeah, I'm saying it wasn't that long ago.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay, well, one movie that's not on hold, as we talked about already, is Barbie. So, I just thought this was interesting. The headline is the Barbie. Go ahead.
just saying, did you find it interesting?
I really don't have two thoughts about this movie myself. I mean, it's not something that I'm really interested in on my own. However, it really is gaining a lot of popularity for various reasons. So the headline here was the movie ushers what it calls bimbo feminism and hyper femininity. There's a sentence for you, into the mainstream. So basically it's Barbie in the movie, she's learning a hard lesson. It says that to be a woman in the real world is uncomfortable, but the movie is kind of over the top, cartoonish, feminist, being feminist. So a lot of moviegoers, a lot of women are going to see the movie, and they're making it an event. They're purposely dressing up. Even guys are coming to the movie dressed up in blonde wigs and pink dresses and things, and just really having a lot of fun with this, and basically saying, it's, being a woman is difficult. Let's have some fun with this. Let's not take it too seriously. It's creating conversation and buzz and things like that. So, in that respect, I think all that stuff is wonderful. I mean, of course, as you guys know, I have a daughter who's 22. She's gonna be 23 very soon, and anything at all, movie wise or entertainment wise, anything that empowers women out in the mainstream like this, is to me extra wonderful having a girl,
Sure.
So
yeah.
I don't know if Peyton's interested to go see this. I need to ask her that question, frankly, but
Was she big into Barbies when she was a kid? Did she have, I feel like...
No, not really. I mean, she had Barbies. She did.
I feel like
but I don't know if
Barbie
she's
is one of
interested
those things. What brand has really celebrated femininity more outwardly than like Barbie over the years?
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I feel like that's really fitting. And Barbie just seems like one of those things, whether you were, as a young girl or boy or whoever, but I feel a lot of young girls had Barbies, even if they weren't the biggest Barbie fan. It's almost like a Barbie was in the hands of almost every little girl at some point or another. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
just one of those kind of hallmarks, right? It's definitely it's cool. I mean, it almost feels overdue. Like, isn't it kind of weird that we're just now getting a Barbie movie? I mean, Barbie's been around forever.
Yeah, I think they've had like animated, things like that. But
they've
had
animated movies.
live action. Yeah, so yeah, and it says here too. I mean, with the history of Barbie, kind of what you were saying, Nick, is it certainly was a popular toy for girls, but Barbie, it certainly had a lot of flack in the is it promoting a certain body type on women and things like that. I mean, okay, but it has progressed in its history. It's been around like 64 years. And you think about the Barbies, they came out with Barbies in different races, Barbies with different careers. You have veterinarians and doctors, and these professional. It's like little girls to.
You could be
I
anything
could
you
be
want.
this. Yes,
Yeah.
that's right. I think all that is great. It's not just a girl running around the house, and they were smart to have her evolve over the years as well. And I think that's where maybe some of these young women and grown women, going to see this movie, remember all those fond memories, I'm sure, or maybe feel that empowerment and just going and just having fun with it. So,
Yeah.
Dean, any thoughts on all this?
I used to make my sister's Barbies fuck my G.I. Joes.
Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Female
all I got.
empowerment. Yeah.
That's right. She was always on top, if it helps.
Yeah, well, hey.
Because I'm a feminist.
Sure. Insisted on finishing first.
Sex is a race, baby. You're the first, you're last.
You ain't first, you're last.
Second's just the first to lose.
That's right.
Yep. Well, I think the movie is probably going to do very well, and who knows? Maybe they make sequels after this. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But good for the Barbie movie
Barbie.
and all that stuff. Absolutely. So, TikTok, one of the new, there's always these new filters that generate a lot of social media buzz. One recently that was look younger, so look like your teenage self. It was like a face smoother, made you look young. It played like retro music and stuff. Now
when you put it on, did you look like you were 50? Because you're old.
It was strange because the smoother. Did I send you a picture of that?
No, you didn't.
Of it. Yeah, it had just you can see a little bit of my beard there too.
Right.
Yeah, Allie's like, this is very disturbing. You look young and old at the same time in the same photo. It was strange. But now
I look like that without a filter.
Yes, that's right. There's an opposite filter now, so it is an aging filter that's gaining a lot of popularity.
They had that I don't know, like a year ago, because what was it? The other day where you have the Facebook memories, and that was one that it put the aging one. Remember when we where we made I think we put each other's as girls, right? Remember that?
Right. That's right. Yep.
I think it was the same app that we used, but I look like my father in mine.
And brother,
yeah, so this was good. So this is
brother then.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
I will turn this.
Your brother looks exactly like your father, your other brother.
Right. Yes. Okay.
I see what you're saying. Yes, he does.
No, you look like the other brother now, but I'm saying if you looked older, you'd look like your other brother and your
face. I will put my fingers in your eye holes and use it to maneuver my dick in your mouth. Son of a... How dare you? How dare you?
I
did try the filter. I mean, it does make you look older for sure.
Now, did it make you
white.
look like? Did it make you look like a teen? Like you did when you were a teenager?
The young one,
yeah,
sort of.
Okay,
you forget. I mean, honestly, you kind of forget what you looked like at that. So there's some a little bit
similarities.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
But I'm saying I did try this older aged one, and it does work. I mean, it adds more wrinkles. It sags the skin.
It just shows cannot compute. It's just you in a casket.
It's just a tombstone. What is that? What is that filter? Is that dust?
Yeah, this ages you 3 years from now. It was like just a plot of land. I'm like, Jesus, this is frightening. Yeah, I got to stop all this fucking editing and get outside more and do stuff. No, but
he puts himself in the aging app, and it's just Allie smiling.
That's right. That's it. I like that. That's funny. I'll have to make that really. Anyway, so there's a lot of younger people online that are trying this out and commenting and all that, and it's creating a lot of different commentary. Some are frightened, and it creates those fears of getting older. Others are saying, you know what, I look like my grandparent or my parent or something like that, and I'm completely okay with that. I embrace the fact that I'm going to age and it's fine, it's good, and this and that. So there's all kinds of varying degrees of all that. So, we kind of talked about this on the Gen X podcast too, just in general. So are you interested in looking at these type of apps to how you would look older? Not so much. And how are you just in general? Are you feeling, obviously you guys are younger than me. Are you feeling any sense of getting older? How is it making you feel? Is it something that you fear?
Day.
Do you fear it, or is it like, you know what, you
No,
can't
I don't
stop
give
it,
a
you
shit.
embrace it? And
Dean's can't wait. He's been rushing to get old as fast as possible.
It's because I was born at 40. No, I don't give a shit. I mean, we're all just dying a slow march towards death. So who cares? Just embrace it. Just put your fucking hands up like a roller coaster and go downhill.
Yeah. There you go. Right,
Nick, what about you?
I don't know. I feel like if you're someone who's worried about aging and stuff, like you're setting yourself up for a big disappointment because you can't run from it. It's happening. No one gets out of this thing alive. So
nope.
I don't know. I'm not worried about aging. I also don't. I don't know. I'm eternally I feel like mentally I just stopped at 23. I have to constantly remind myself how old I am because I'm just I feel like I'm still in my 20s. I'm 20 something, right?
Does that count that I get bummed out when Nick gets older? Like I don't want to see him get older.
No, not him. Take us, not Nick.
I'm like I don't need a fucking old model here. You fucking stay young.
But no, it's I don't know. They're I guess interesting a little bit. I don't really mess around with them too much, but it's I don't know. It's one of those things that you have to have a certain level of comfortability with your mortality and aging because like I said, there's nothing you can do about it. It's completely out of your control. So you might as well just enjoy it and try to embrace it and just like Dean said, kind of enjoy the ride. I wouldn't put it so eloquently as just go downhill, but I would say enjoy the ride.
Nick, there's not much we can do. Look at us. We are at the various, even in this podcast, we're at the various stages of aging.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm at the oldest. I'm at the oldest point here. Visually.
You're pickled.
Right. Yeah, Brian, definitely the insides. Brian might be the chronological oldest one, but I think I look the oldest here, and I probably feel the oldest too. So that makes sense, and I'm okay with it.
Yep. Well, that's good. That's a healthy attitude. You're right. It's nothing you can do. But
I don't know what I'd say. It's his attitude's not healthy. Let's not get concerned here. His attitude is not healthy.
Well, you have to accept and be excited that you are one step closer to just ending it all.
That's not healthy. I agree. No.
What? No. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I don't mean by my own hand. I'm just saying the sweet release of death. That's all I'm saying.
I see.
Yeah.
Come get me, death. Do it, you pussy. Just come get me.
No.
I definitely... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, in all seriousness, I actually don't, like Nick said, I'm embracing getting older. I don't mind getting older. I actually feel more comfortable in my own skin in the second half of my life than I ever did in the first.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Probably from like 30 on is when I started kind of just feeling, more comfortable with myself.
Yeah.
And then by 42 I am now, right? Yeah, I'm good to go. So I feel good. If you guys don't believe me, come here. Let me see your hands. But I'm good. I'm good with aging.
Yeah, I definitely have moments too where you when you just look older. Sometimes that's hard to deal with at times, here and there. There's certain things, hairs get a little thinner in the back, this or that, gray hairs, you know, uh, stuff like that. So, but again, for the most part, you combat stuff too. You just, exercise, be healthy, do stuff like that. Try to make yourself feel good. And I'm trying to focus on like every day there's something to enjoy. You don't have to necessarily wait until like the weekend or something to say that there's something to look forward to, even something small, every single day.
You mean
whether
like
that
Mondays when your favorite podcast drops?
Of course. Always something to look forward to. That's
Always
right.
something to look forward to.
Yeah.
Or perhaps when you can take a nice little outdoor stroll on, say, your electric bike. And you might wonder, well, I don't have an electric bike in my life, Nick. And I'm like, well, shit, where have you been? Allow us to introduce you to our friends at RPM Bike Shop. I mean, they're located conveniently in Carrollton, Ohio, just a hop, skip, and a jump away from here. And they're so easy to get into contact with. All you have to do is go to Facebook and search in the search bar, RPM Bike Shop. Bam, they're right there. Or you can go to their website, rpmbikeshop.com, see all their amazing products. Or you can give them a call, 330-808-7792, if you want to talk to a friendly sales associate today, perhaps about treating yourself to something nice, enjoying a small win, or perhaps a big win in your life with an electric bike from our friends at RPM Bike Shop. Give them a call.
Excellent.
Who
Excellent.
doesn't want to finish that sweet finish line of death on an electric bike?
There you go. Take it a little bit quicker, right over the finish line.
That's right.
That's right. Well, one thing, again, is something to look forward to every day. And Tuesday evening this week here, guys. So
Okay.
that would have been the 18th of June. We're shooting this on June the 20th, Thursday. One thing I did enjoy was to sit back and watch The Dark Knight. I'm wearing a T-shirt here. If you're watching us on video, this is the great Heath Ledger as the Joker on my T-shirt here. That movie, so 2008. That means it's 15 years ago already that The Dark Knight debuted in the theater. So I wanted to sit back and rewatch it in celebration. And that's it. I'll take us into our Ask an Idiot question of the week here. So. You know what? I thoroughly enjoyed it. That's one I definitely enjoy every time I watch it. I think it still holds up very well. There are some things that, the Christian Bale Batman boys, there's a different things that it is a little bit annoying and this and that and the other. However, obviously the performances by many in that movie, of course, including Heath Ledger, just fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought the storyline was great. It was certainly, in my opinion, the best of the Nolan trilogy, easily.
Mm-hmm.
Although Batman Begins is quite good.
Aaron Eckhart as Two-Face was a good
fabulous.
One as well. Yep.
Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon was great in all those movies.
Yep.
Anyway, I don't know if you've seen it lately, but just that movie. That's our asking you the question of the week. So, does this movie still hold up for you? Is it still one of the best superhero movies of all time, at least within the DC universe, if not between all of them? Did it change the tone of superhero movies in general? Just any thoughts, reflections on the movie? That's what we're going to talk about here. So, Nick, why don't we start with you, sir? Any have you seen it lately? Any reflections on this movie? What are your thoughts on The Dark Knight?
Yeah, the last time I saw it, I think was maybe it's probably been a few years. I would say it's probably been about 3 years. It was one of those ones though when I had cable and I'd be flipping through channels, it was one that I would stop on every time I saw it. I saw it in the theater, and that was one when it came out, it was getting a lot of praise. It was getting a lot of hype and how good this was. It was long, but it was really good, and people had only good things to say about it. And so a lot of times when you hear so much praise for a movie like that, it tends to build it up, and then you go see it and you're like, okay, is it going to live up to the hype? But that one definitely did for me, and I think it did. It changed what superhero movies could be, as in it wasn't your typical hero villain superhero-y dynamic. It was a drama. It really was a drama movie. It revolved around a comic book character. But man, it was just like the depth that they go into with the characters. As you mentioned, Heath Ledger's Joker performance has, I mean, whether you agree with it or not, goes down as one of the most like epic performances, certainly as a superhero villain. I think it's fantastic. I think it's so well done. I still think it's my favorite, DC character movie I've seen. Although I will shout out the Batman that came out last year with Robert Pattinson. I thought that was great. But this movie really holds up well, I think. Like you said, just great casting. The story it tells. He was just the Heath Ledger Joker was such a dynamic character and was kind of out of the norm of your typical villain. A lot of, we say villains are the hero in their own story. This guy was really truly a villain and an anarchist, and like he really was not in it to, be rich or to be powerful or famous. It was just he wanted to upset the power balance, and he was just the most unpredictable wild card type of character. And you couldn't reason with him, and there was really no way to relate to him. I still thought it was a fantastic movie. Definitely my favorite of the Nolan trilogy. But yeah, I couldn't ever gush about that movie enough. I still think it's just very, very well done, very good, and I still love it every time I see it.
Excellent. Dean?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. First of all, the first movie is dog shit.
No.
Yes.
Batman Begins?
Yeah. Horrible movie.
No.
Are you talking about the one with Liam Neeson? Like Ra's al Ghul? Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Christian Bale as Batman is unbelievable. Again, dog shit. It is unwatchable. The third movie, I appreciate how they made it just as unwatchable as the first one.
I was not as big of a fan of that one.
Yeah,
The one with Bane.
Because dog shit. But the second one, Heath Ledger's performance was captivating and strong. My only question, and give me all the heat you want. Maybe I deserve it for this comment, but does the movie hit the same way if he doesn't die?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
I think so.
Okay. I think so, but there's part of me that is curious. Like, if he would have lived, would you have felt a little different about the performance? Maybe.
Well,
maybe it gave that little bit of extra oomph that he passed, and like this is his hurrah. I don't know.
No.
Well, there certainly was at the time when the movie was released, there was this kind of extra hype because it was like, that he got so into character with the Joker,
Yeah,
that he
right.
drove himself insane, and he ended up dying from it. This is, it took everything from him to deliver this performance. I do think the performance is far good enough to stand on its own.
Okay.
Without the tragic end of the actor, but
I would like to watch it again.
Yeah.
Because like I was a huge fan of it, especially like, and again, to heart, I'm meaning to heart because it's an awful movie. But the first one was so bad that like my expectations were really fucking low.
Mm-hmm.
But like it was getting all this hype about Heath Ledger and his performance, so I watched it and I was quite impressed. And again, maybe a little too impressed because of A, that he passed, and B, that that it was so much better than its predecessor. So I don't know. I want to watch it again, like you, Brian, and see how I feel about it.
Yeah, it's just the some of the banter that he had, the dialogue in this movie was just phenomenal, and his delivery was great, and it really
Can you imagine if you had actually a good actor to work against him? That would be fucking amazing.
So do you hate Christian Bale, like, period, as like a...
No, I don't.
Is it, or is this just a Batman Christian Bale?
He just
thing?
was a shitty Batman.
Okay.
I've enjoyed other Christian Bale movies, so it's not him as an actor.
Well, I know we debated this before, but I thought he was good. He's a very good Bruce Wayne too.
Yeah, I thought he was just fine as Bruce
he
Wayne.
made that.
As the
He made that a
the growl
believable.
whisperer. Yeah.
He was purposely a cartoonish rich guy to help.
Who doesn't want
as his
a
disguise.
millionaire with a lisp?
Okay. But anyways, the banter with even Two-Face, some of his lines was great too. The dialogue there too, but the whole scene where the Joker is explaining to Batman in the cell,
Yes.
you could tell it was very quiet. Batman paid attention to what he was saying. You could tell he sort of thought about what he was saying there for a second. Where they need you now,
right?
But the second they don't, they'll cast you out and all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And it was very serious dialogue. And then the scene with him in the hospital with Harvey was fabulous. You put the gun to his head and describing himself like, I'm like a dog chasing a car. If I catch it, I don't know what I would do with it. I'm just, I just do things, just to do. I have no plan and all this and that and the other. So it was a very
like somebody that has a plan.
Yeah. It was very believable for someone if that person actually existed. It was a in many respects very believable in the sense of how he would think and how he would try to create, like you say, anarchy and panic and everything else by all the stuff that he was doing. Obviously, a lot of it's very unbelievable in many things, but still, he definitely caused a lot of terror and everything else. So
there is a level.
Go ahead.
Which one?
Nick, go ahead.
Shut up. I'm Dad's favorite. There is a level, even to this day, Marvel has put out so many good movies, and they're great. They're very entertaining, and they're fun, and they're good. But there is a level of reality to those Batman movies that no superhero franchise to this day has accomplished. There's a level of believability to it that there's almost like
Have you not seen Howard the Duck?
There's like this lens over, at the end of the day, these are, the Marvel movies are all fantastical and action-packed and, it's shiny, flashy superheroes. But the Batman movies and those Batman movies specifically, there is a level of, this is very a believable, plausible reality or a situation that could exist. Now, you could also take into account Batman lends itself to that anyway, because Batman is not some superhero that is out of this world that has powers. You know what I mean? So he's is a regular guy. So he could exist in our world because it's something that could actually exist.
Can you imagine if Elon Musk got in his pajamas and went around saying he was a crime fighter?
Yeah, right. Yeah, he was out there kicking ass and trained by Liam Neeson. I mean, it'd be great.
Right.
Fantastic. That could happen.
Justice.
Yeah, but those movies are just it's very, very cool. There's something very real and believable about them that in my opinion, no other superhero movie has been able to accomplish.
Yeah, it's a very tragic figure, like you say.
It had a lot of lead actors that were bad.
One thing I liked was it showed him. If it was a guy running around fighting, he would be beat up and exhausted and battered and bruised, and they definitely showed all that in these movies. Definitely here. It's one of very tragic character, Bruce Wayne, in many respects too. So I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know. All right, I got two more things that upset me about this. One,
I was thinking about Christian Bale while you guys were talking, and I'm upset about other things.
Actually, Two-Face. I'm upset that he was only Two-Face for like laying in bed for a brief moment. You know what I mean?
No, but he got out of bed. So the last act, he's out and about.
45 minutes of the movie is him.
Shit, maybe I don't remember that part.
Yeah,
okay.
He's got Commissioner Gordon's kid.
Suit. Yeah,
he's holding him for ransom or not ransom, but what I mean.
I'm gonna rewatch this. All right.
Well, because that was the thing. The movie was so long.
Remember it.
When that part happens,
you think it's the end, right? That in my head,
you start to think when he's laying in the bed, and you're like, "Oh, they're setting up for the next one." The movie continues on for like 45 more minutes. Yeah. And then Two-Face has his whole thing happen, and it's like all this other. It's like a whole other mini movie at the end. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's just the whole thing of the whole dynamic of what Batman had to become to protect the city, because he sacrificed his reputation and everything because he was determined that you can't let Gotham cannot know what Harvey Dent did here. Harvey Dent represented something good. He's not a superhero. He generated hope for the city. We can't possibly let the city know that he went crazy and the
That's
Joker got
dumb.
the best of him and he killed people and all this and that and the other. So that's where, Batman said, I did these things.
I'll be the bad guy.
He'll be the bad guy. He did whatever the city needed him to do.
To watch it. That's dumb. I have to watch that.
No, it's not dumb because this logic made a lot of sense. So
at the end of the day, he cared more about the betterment of the city than he did his own reputation to the city. So he sacrificed everything, all his goodwill to
for
basically
a guy who murdered people
to lift up the city at large.
So I need the
city
to thrive. So let's
as a hero,
right?
But still, there's plenty
not as a villain.
There's plenty of people, especially politicians, that fall from grace and do shitty things after doing amazing things in their political careers.
Well, but Harvey, the logic was that he was the guy he was a regular guy. He was a civil servant. He created hope. They did not. That was the future that Batman wanted to see. I can't be Batman forever. I need to inspire.
I see what you did there.
No, but I need to inspire people to. I didn't mean to do that, but he wanted to inspire hope and have others in the city rise up similar to Harvey Dent. Yeah, I
understand the concept. I just don't like it. Like, if no. I'm saying as in,
if you're trash.
if you're the superhero, if you're superhero of the movie and whatever, why would you take one guy's reputation? And I get, again, you don't have to repeat. I understand what he's saying, but you're now fucking the city of what good you could continue to do. And yes, you can't be Batman forever. I understand that, but again, it's flawed. I don't like that plot line.
That's okay. Okay. Well, he did continue to fight crime behind the scenes, and obviously he redeemed himself in the third movie. So
that was so amazing when he died. That was
all worked. Or
did he? Did he blow himself up? Yeah.
No, he faked
his death.
Faked his own death in a way and got away.
I always thought that last scene more or less. Did he fake his own death, or did he really die? And
no,
Michael Caine or whoever was like, no. When I first watched it, I thought it was Alfred's imagination, in hopes that that's what he wished he would see, see him off and away, doing that whole thing. That's how I interpreted it.
I could see that, but I took it to where he lived and he actually did get away, and
he's living
Catwoman. He's living a great, living a happy life. Yeah.
Okay,
happy ending.
Yeah.
All right. Well, and so if you haven't watched this movie, that's right.
He probably got to retire the voice too.
I hope so.
I know we talked about this already. That's in the third movie. That is still one of the most craziest scenes of the whole trilogy when he's flying away to die. And Commissioner Gordon knows who he is, and he's still hanging on to that Batman voice. He can't let it go until the very end, even though he knows who he is. Yeah, that's when he should have just changed to Bruce Wayne. But other than that, that was definitely a low point. All right, but this movie is very good. If you haven't watched it lately, go check it out. All the Batman movies are on Max streaming, so you can go all find them all there, including the 80s ones and everything else. They're all there. So yes, indeed. Okay. Well, guys, we're going to take another break. And we're going to come back with our main segment, a musical segment. Matter of fact, Batman, some of these movies are known for very good music scores.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to be our main soundtracks.
Done by what's his name?
Prince did
Seal?
Right. No, Prince. No. He's a Batman. Prince did the music for the original and best Batman.
That's right.
Well, I guess not original.
Not the original, the first movie though. The first,
There you
well, not
go.
even the first movie.
No,
the first
yeah,
movie was the
69,
Adam
it
West
was-
movie. So
That's right. That's
yeah,
right. For
the
award.
89 Batman with Michael Keaton. Yes, Prince did the
I'm
soundtrack
just
for
wrong
that.
on
So
all sorts of levels right now.
that's right.
Thanks for doing all this. I appreciate that.
So we're going to talk about that. We're talking about our personal idiot
Batman
Mount Rushmores
soundtracks.
of movie soundtracks.
Shut the fuck up.
We'll be right back.
Oh, you take my breath away.
As an intelligent consumer, I wanted to compare Atari asteroids with other companies' asteroids. But other companies don't make asteroids. I wanted to compare Atari Missile Command with other companies' missile commands. But other companies don't make that either. Finally, I wanted to compare the new Atari Warlords. Unfortunately, other companies don't make it. When it comes to the video games the world wants most, nobody compares to Atari.
And so we're coming back for the last segment, the main segment, the main event. Coming back in 5, 4, 3.
Dun, 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 dun. We're back for segment number 3 of Convincing Idiots. We just came off of a Batman conversation, and we decided to enter this conversation for our final segment this evening. Before I get too excited and forget to mention, I'm Millennial Nick, along with Daniel Dean, Gen X Brian. This is Convincing Idiots. For our third and final segment this evening, we are discussing some of our favorite movie soundtracks of all time. So, gentlemen, this could be, compositions of original compositions, musical scores for film. Could also be just a compiling of different known songs that are all put together on a specific movie soundtrack. So we're just gonna go at it here. So
I have an idea real quick, if I can interject.
You may.
Let's try something new. All right. So, as you know, listeners and viewers, whatever you want to say, because we're idiots, our Mount Rushmore has 5, right? So,
Right.
like we do all of our Mount Rushmores.
Can't count.
This week, all of us on the count of 3 read all 5 at the exact same time. No? Okay. All right, we'll do it your way.
Jurassic Park, Star Wars.
We'll do it. Let me try mine sometime or other. All right.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Maybe we'll try that another time. Maybe we'll try that another time. For this time, let's start with Brian.
We already kind of mentioned it. So my number 5, Batman. So the 89 Batman. And you don't forget too. Obviously, we already mentioned Prince. Prince had a lot of original music and songs in this movie. But don't forget the great Danny Elfman too. The Batman theme, which they did replay in the Flash movie. It's good to hear that theme again. So yeah, that just great. If his Princess, both of those gentlemen, the score fit that movie perfectly, and it really took that movie to another level. It was already back in its time at 89, so much hype that, oh my God, there's going to be a new Batman movie. Just the hype back then was phenomenal. I couldn't wait to see it. Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton, just terrific. Yeah, like I said, just the score really helped make that movie. So, yeah, the original.
And especially back then,
Batman.
89, Prince was on another level.
It sure was. It definitely was.
Really authorized. He was on another level. And like the combination of Jack Nicholson and
Keaton
and Prince. Well, no. I'm saying the two marquee, because Michael Keaton, again, remember, they weren't sure. People were still a little iffy because he was a comedic actor, if he could pull it off. But with the Prince soundtrack and Jack, they're all, and you know what I mean? That really got people there, I think.
Yeah, there was a few scenes where you're right, it featured Jack Nicholson's Joker with a Prince song in the art museum and the parade.
That's one of the greatest. One of the greatest, because of the Prince song in there, makes it one of the greatest scenes, right? Just individual scenes in comic book movies.
Sure. Absolutely. So that's number for number 5, Batman. Dean?
Nice.
All right. I'm going to, I don't have my 1 through 5 isn't in any specific order. So I'm going to start with my top one, the one that came to my mind when we decided to do this, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction, again, the music helps that movie so much, especially the tone and the sound and the feel of it.
Mm-hmm.
And even the soundtrack itself, if you put the CD in your CD player, you're going to get some of the tracks like old school movies where you're going to get the tracks of like the actors talking. Like one is the Ezekiel speech that Samuel Jackson does. You know what I mean? Then they go into a song, but it's its own separate track. So like it was one of like, that was a very 90s way to do soundtracks, was put the
snippets
different
of the movie.
Right. And like the songs were so cool and different and hip. Is not something I would have necessarily listened to. So it kind of turned me on to some different music, different styles. So yeah, Pulp Fiction is my first on my list.
Urge Overkill, Sister Havana. Oh man, that's a great song. Oh, that was on the Pulp Fiction soundtrack. So good. So fucking good.
Love
Yeah,
it.
you can see Tarantino was a big fan of the classic surf rock stuff. So a lot of that music, it was all through that movie. Like you said, it was good for the tone of that movie, like you said.
You'll be a woman.
Yeah, so good.
I don't know how much we can sing before we get cut off, so I probably not go there.
All right,
and you guys are getting jealous of my voice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I will go next, and I'm going to stick with Batman. I have Batman Forever's soundtrack right here. This was one of my favorites. This is my favorite of the early Batman movies.
Is that Kiss by Rose?
That is Kiss from a Rose, absolutely, from Seal. That was the big song on there, but two of my personal favorites on here. There's a lot of great artists here. There's a Method Man song. We got The Offspring, Flaming Lips, all kinds of good stuff. But the two main ones, a U2 original called Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me. To this day, it's one of my favorite U2 songs. It's so cool. It matches that movie so well for me. I believe it's playing when Robin steals the Batmobile and is driving through town and stuff. It's just a very cool song.
Yeah.
Love that U2 song. Very cool video for it as well. And then a great cover from Michael Hutchence, who was the late singer of INXS. He covers The Passenger from Iggy Pop. And if you're familiar with that song, this is definitely a very kind of low-tuned, dirty, grungy version of that song. Very slow moving. It almost sounds like an old school locomotive, like just kind of the way the music moves to the song. And if you listen to the Iggy Pop version and then the Michael Hutchence remake, it's just really cool contrast. I mean, both good songs. But yeah, I have Batman Forever soundtrack. That's my one of my favorites. So
that's a good one.
There we go. Yep. Brian.
All right, I'm going to give you Grease, 1978.
Very good. Yep.
The great John Travolta. You mentioned a Pulp Fiction. And Olivia Newton-John. I don't sit around and listen to this soundtrack, necessarily, but I love listening to 70s. I could. I love 70s music.
Just fine.
Absolutely. Such a catchy song, and I always liked Olivia Newton-John's voice. John Travolta does a very good job vocally here too. So, yeah, it's definitely it's a summertime feel every time you hear any of the songs.
Had me a blast.
That's right. There you go. Grease, and probably one of the most highest selling soundtracks I would imagine of all time as well.
I can see that. Absolutely.
Dean?
All right. I am actually very ashamed and embarrassed that my.
You should be.
No. I'm about to tell you why not in general. I mean, yes, you're right. I should. No, because I didn't think of this. It actually is my favorite soundtrack ever. It is. I don't know what the fucking in the movie was half horse shit, but Queen of the Damned.
Okay. Yeah.
It
Korn,
was
Manson, David Draymond. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, the list here, you have everybody from, like you said, Chester Benningfield to Static X, Wayne Static, Not Meant for Me. the ones that weren't already songs were all written by
Jonathan Davis.
Jonathan Davis, and he was supposed to that was supposed to be his album, and contractually, his album label didn't let him go and do it, so that's why he got all his friends to sing those songs.
Yeah, okay.
So it was originally supposed to be just him singing all those.
Yeah.
And just
Redeemer
some of the ones
from Marilyn Manson. Forsaken was David Draymond. I don't know if it was all Disturbed or just him.
Nope,
yeah,
just David Draymond. It was all
okay.
Just like Wayne Static wasn't Static X. It was just Wayne Static. Forsaken is an incredible. Before I'm Dead. Yeah, the whole thing. If you ever get a chance, I highly recommend this Queen of the Damned soundtrack. It is amazing. If you like that style music,
right?
It is terrific. I love that soundtrack. So
nice.
Queen of the Damned.
I've got one here, so I'm going to skip ahead. I was not going to mention this one, but it's right in tune with the one you just mentioned. I have right here the soundtrack for Little Nicky, the Adam Sandler movie. Same deal. If you're into the Queen of the Damned soundtrack, you'd probably be into this. You got POD, Incubus, Deftones, Disturbed, Power Man 5000, Muse, Filter, Unloco, Cypress Hill. That's just all over the place. But POD had an original song that they made for it called School of Hard Knocks. It was really good. They had the there's like this special bonus features on the DVD with like the music video, and they tied in like Little Nicky stuff into the music video. It was cool. But a lot of it is just songs that were already on other, like the Deftones songs that are on there, like Be Quiet and Drive, Linkin Park, Points of Authority, Pardon Me by Incubus, Stupefy by Disturbed. All these are already, these were not made for this soundtrack, but rather compiled for this movie. But man, I played the hell out of this CD when I first got it.
Combined all of those together, that's a hell of a lift.
At the age that I was when this came out, and then all of these bands.
You didn't have the ability that like you do now, where you could put like that list together and put it on your phone.
Right? Yeah. I mean,
so
you would
to have that right there.
And that time, you would have to take those and put that do that thing with the CD on either on a mixed CD or play them on a cassette and record it to the cassette and put it that way.
Right. Correct.
But yeah, that was just a really cool soundtrack. So there again, around that time, early 2000s, a lot of those bands that were kind of new metal or the popular rock at the time, that was pretty good soundtrack. So Little Nicky.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
Ron.
I give you another John Travolta movie. So this is like the third John Travolta movie that we talked about as the best soundtrack.
It makes sense.
Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
Bee Gees. Love the Bee Gees. This soundtrack made a killing. It was several weeks at the top of the album charts. Several songs made the top 10. It just. My mom had this tape. I remember as a kid growing up, I used to play that tape all the time. I loved, it really helped me get more into disco as a kid, So, I just think it's one of the greatest. Well, no, I love it. I love disco. I don't care. I don't give a shit what people think. I love 70s music, and I love the Bee Gees. So, yeah.
The goddamn right you did, Brian. As you should.
Thank you. Thank you. Very good, ladies and gentlemen.
It's been so long.
Yeah.
I miss him.
Yeah.
God damn it, I love you, Barry. I'm going to go just like Nick. This album, there was no new songs. It was all just previous songs. But it, as the same as the movie, it runs across the beginning or middle of the 20th century. Forrest Gump. I mean, it literally is the soundtrack of life. I mean, yes, his life, but you know what I mean? It's the wide range of different music and the different vibes of rock and roll, and even gets outside of that a little bit. Just like the movie, it's very eclectic, very cool. Who doesn't know the majority of the songs on that album, right? So.
What kind of stuff's like? What is is it like classic or what today?
Forrest Gump soundtrack. Forrest Gump. It has from Willie Nelson to Jefferson Airplane, The Fifth Dimension, Wilson Pickett, Bob Dylan, The Doors, and quite a few Doors. Blown on the Wind by Joan Baez, Doobie Brothers. Youngblood, Beach Boys, Leonard Skinner, like, yeah, anybody
Okay, yeah,
in
just
that
through
50s and 60s
sure.
rock genre, you know what I mean? From Elvis Presley to Creedence, Aretha Franklin, Three Dog Night. So
Nice.
it is like the ultimate like soundtrack. You know what I mean? Given that like it does what it's supposed to, it goes through life of this guy,
Sure.
which is the early 50s to until Jetty died of AIDS. Right. So.
Yeah.
Forrest Gump
Nice.
is my pick, guys.
Very good.
Nick?
I have next up the original motion picture soundtrack of Singles.
Okay.
This was, Cameron Crowe, spotlight on the Seattle music scene and a story of just, single people in Seattle finding their way, finding love,
Fuck.
working their way through relationships. Kira Sedgwick, it was one of her early movies. Matt Dillon, a lot of their, some of their early films. But this is fantastic if you were into grunge or, the Seattle music scene, 90s alternative. Not only are these bands on the soundtrack, but they're also make appearances. There's a scene where Alice in Chains is performing. So there's Alice in Chains on here, a few of them. We got Chris Cornell original songs. We've got Soundgarden songs. Chris Cornell's in the movie. Pearl Jam serves actually as his backing band. So you got some great Pearl Jam songs on there. Mudhoney, all kinds of good stuff. Mother Love Bone. There's a Jimi Hendrix track on there. Screaming Trees, The Pumpkins. Everything.
It's
a little bit.
It's one of those. It's one of those soundtracks. They have movies that, like, give 25 years, from now, and somebody goes, "What was the '90s like?" You pop that CD in.
This is the sound of the '90s.
That is the sound of the '90s.
In one CD. This is the sound of the '90s at that time. Absolutely. So yeah, it's just I love the movies too. I watch it pretty regularly, I would say. I mean, I'd say about once a year I have to watch the movie at some point. The mood strikes me.
Do you watch it and just cry because you're jealous?
Yeah. No, it's great soundtrack, great movie. So Singles. Brian.
Very good. Well, as I first overlap here, Dean, my number 2 was Pulp Fiction.
Yep.
Made my list as well. So we'd already talked about a little bit here, but just that music in that movie, like I said, just really hit me. It's that the opening scene with just the title of the movie, huge letters, Pulp Fiction. Yeah, with that surf rock song going across, that just set the tone of the movie right off the bat. Pretty amazing stuff. So yeah,
absolutely.
Pulp Fiction, number 2 for me. Dean?
All right, I'm going to go with the next one. Again, just a handful of, because it's a period piece. Mm-hmm. I'm going with Dazed and Confused soundtrack.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
From Paranoid to Jim Dandy. Motherfucker, it has Fog Hat. Enough said.
Hey,
enough said.
There you go.
Yep. Kiss. A lot of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Runaways, Alice Cooper, ZZ Top. Yeah, I mean, anything. I mean, that's like the quintessential.
Mid-70s, yep.
Yep. Absolutely. So, Dazed and Confused soundtrack.
Great.
Very nice. Very nice. I also had this one actually. Just shocked and saddened to learn that I don't actually own a physical copy of this album. But one of my favorite movies, and if you can't tell, I have from my list already, I have a bit of an affinity for 90s music and 90s soundtracks in general, and this will be no different. The Crow is a very awesome movie I absolutely love, and The Crow has an awesome soundtrack. Certainly the star of the show is The Cure. There's a song called Burn, and it takes place in the movie when he's first putting on the makeup and he's back in his old apartment and he finds this face paint and he's doing his face paint in front of the big circular window that's all shattered, and the crow flies in. It's just a really cool montage of him after he's crawled out of the crypt there. And
I always thought that scene would have been better with the song from the Carpenters. Why do birds suddenly appear?
There you go.
I just felt that it would have worked better.
Sure. I mean, it certainly would fit the moment in a lyrical sense,
Right.
But yeah, it was a great one. Pantera's on there, Stone Temple Pilots. It's just a great. Nine Inch Nails is on there. Great '90s compilation. So The Crow.
Nice, very nice.
Brian.
My number one,
Drum roll,
Prince
please.
makes a return. Purple Rain.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Yep.
Arguably Prince's finest album, period, for this movie. And you throw in Morris Day and the Time and a few other fun things on this soundtrack, which Prince also wrote a lot of those as well. Just love it. That album, the Purple Rain album by Prince, every song you listen to front to back, you don't skip any song. So many great ones on there. Obviously, Purple Rain, the title track, is still one of the greatest, rock songs of all time in my book.
Dude was a genius.
He really was. Darting Nikki, Computer Blue is so, the Beautiful Ones, Take Me With You. So many great songs. And I watched that movie so many times, mainly, certainly not for the acting, but for the musical performances of Prince and Morris Day at the time in that movie. That was just a lot of fun. And that's what you really appreciate the fact of, I didn't really get back at the time that's Prince playing the guitar also. I was like, what? This guy's actually singing and playing the guitar. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
His guitar playing was insane.
Yeah, he was an amazing artist and all that. So, it's his finest work to me. Purple Rain. There you go.
There you go.
Nice. It's a damn fine one.
Yeah. All right. My number one or last one, what do you want to call it? I went back and forth between two. Excuse me. But I think I'll save one for honorable mentions. This one, again, period piece. The songs from it are just iconic, almost famous.
Okay.
Where you have Simon and Garfunkel, The Who, Leonard Skinner, Elton John, Tiny Dancer. The scene on the bus with all of them singing Tiny Dancer is iconic. The Seeds to Stillwater, Rod Stewart. It's just an incredible list of who's who of the 70s, 60s, late 60s, early 70s to mid 70s music. So almost famous.
Nice.
Nick?
All right, for my last one here, this one's kind of cool because similar to the Purple Rain one, it doubles as not only is it the motion picture soundtrack, but it also is a holiday piece. Jingle All the Way soundtrack.
God damn it!
I mean, my God, it's great. Nat King Cole, there's Christmas. It gets you in the mood for baking cookies. It gets you in the mood for finding yourself a Turbo Man. What's not? No, I joke. This is not actually a submission. Although it is a fine Christmas album. There is good stuff on here.
That I mean, I'm scoffing, but it probably is a good Christmas. I love Christmas music is one of my favorite genres. So
you got
actually probably would.
Tom Petty, Christmas All Over. You got Nat King Cole, and what was the Backdoor Santa, Clarence Carter. I mean, it's not a bad soundtrack, but I could not overlook Across the Universe. This is the musical that got me, to appreciate the Beatles music in the first place. Fantastic movie.
We watched it last night. I showed Megan for the first time.
Oh yeah, what'd she think?
She loved it.
Right? Yeah.
It's so cool. I hadn't seen it in a couple years. Loved it.
So well done. The movie is so well done from just an artistic standpoint. It's just beautifully shot, and all the musical numbers are really well done. But yeah, the vocal talent
of the
actors and actresses. It's probably been a couple years. It's not been too long. It's been a couple years.
Watch it again.
Yeah.
The older I get, the more times I see it, the more I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Brian, have you seen it?
Truly incredible movie.
I don't remember.
It is on HBO Max.
Okay.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yep. That's where we watched it. It is so good. It is. Okay. It is a telling of. I'm sorry, Nick. I know this is your pick here, but it's a musical with the Beatles music as the music.
Okay.
It's a telling of the story throughout the '60s.
Yep.
And whatnot. So definitely watch it.
Evan Rachel Wood singing Blackbird is just like the highlight of the whole soundtrack. Like it's
No,
so good,
no,
and there's
no,
so
no.
many good songs and so many good
TV
renditions.
TV Carpio singing "I Want to Hold Your Hand" is my favorite.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's a good one.
She's so good. Like her voice,
Yeah,
and the way she slows it down to like compared to like the original. Because
Right, yeah.
that's the thing, Brian, is they don't just sing their songs. Like they put it into a different tempo or a different way, whatever fits the scene. Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, we watched
Yeah.
it last night. That's cool that you picked that.
yeah.
Damn it!
very-
Now I'm a little
very
upset
cool
that
one.
I didn't think of that.
Yeah, yeah. It's
All right.
just an incredible album, incredible movie all the way around. So yeah, that's one for me for sure.
Very good. Very
So
cool.
yeah, there we go.
So was that our
Honorable
That's our
mentions
five.
now.
That's our five.
right?
Yeah, it was on honorable mentions.
mentions?
Real quick. Let's start with Brian. Brian, why don't you read your list real quick? You know, kind of get it out in the open. Then we'll do some
I'll just-
honorable mentions.
Oh yeah, I'd like to recap mine: Batman, Grease, Saturday Night Fever, Pulp Fiction, and Purple Rain.
Nice.
That's a good list. Nick,
Yep. I've got Batman Forever, Little Nicky, Singles, The Crow, and Across the Universe.
again, it's a solid list.
Yep.
I have Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, Dazed and Confused, Almost Famous, and Queen of the Damned.
Nice.
Very good.
Good shit, gentlemen.
Yeah, I was a little like when you said this last night, Brian. I was a little skeptical. I'm like, all right, I guess I can throw together something. But the more I looked into it, I'm like, holy shit! Like you forget like how good these albums were.
Sure.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
glad we did this. And
Honorable mentions, guys. You want to name a couple?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Dean, you want to go ahead?
I will. The only honorable mention I have, and I can, I'm sure I'll think of some, but like the one I have written down, Top Gun.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh,
Take
okay.
your breath
Yeah.
away. Come on.
Yeah.
Highway to the Danger Zone.
Kenny Loggins, baby.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
There we go.
You can't grow up in the '80s and not have something with Kenny Loggins.
Correct.
You gotta have.
Correct.
It. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Nick, you have any?
I've got one here. I'm gonna go with Into the Wild. It was directed by my favorite actor, Sean Penn, starring Emil Hirsch, who I also love, and it was essentially an Eddie Vedder solo album. The entire thing
That
is Eddie
so
Vedder.
good.
It's
the best
really
part
great.
about that movie.
The soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I couldn't watch that movie. Well, without just being pissed at the kid. Like he was just a shit. I'm like, that tells you how an adult you are when you watch that movie and go, what a piece of shit that kid is.
Damn
like you're not
kid.
rooting for him. You're like, wow, what a whining little turd.
Yeah, he just went out on his own and said, "Fuck it,
Yeah.
he's done with society. He's just done." But,
Burning money
yeah.
and like, all right, we get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, I like that movie a lot, and
But
but it was
soundtrack
just it
is
kind of
fantastic.
fired on all cylinders for me. So that Eddie Vedder did a great job on the score there. And then lastly, I'll never pass up on an opportunity to give this wonderful woman, her flowers. Let's just say Titanic, Celine Dion, just for My Heart Will Go
All
On,
right. All right.
just for that one song.
No,
That's it. That's all
I'm going to not talk shit about it because I've heard reports that she's not doing well. So
What?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I see pictures online and stuff like that.
yeah.
She looks,
So
thin
I will
and,
poor thing.
respect.
I mean, it sold a shit ton of copies. It
I
did
did not know
great,
that.
same as a movie. So I'll respect that.
Okay.
I couldn't name you
Fine.
anything else that's on Titanic soundtrack. I'm
Right.
sure it's all musical scores, and I don't know any
A
of
bunch
it.
of a bunch of splashing.
Nautical tunes and like things that just there was yeah, I do remember when they first set sail there was this like uplifting and like I don't know, that's probably on there, but I'm sure the only song with words is the Celine Dion song.
The last track is just gurgling.
Is anybody alive out there? It's just that for like 5 minutes. Is anybody alive out there? It's the final song. No, there's not.
I'm over here in the door. The poor kid, we let him drown.
Yeah.
But I'm on the door.
I could have fit on the damn door.
What about my
well,
matched luggage?
That's right. Well, again, I love 70s music. One of my favorite. I love the movie Boogie Nights.
Oh,
Dirk
yeah.
Diggler,
Oh yeah.
Mark Wahlberg's. I think it was his acting debut. Anyway, I think it was.
No.
No,
But-
okay. Well, it's
the
definitely
one-
one he got.
The
he
one
got
Fear movie.
Okay, we got some definitely.
Fear,
some of
Three
all Fears.
Kings was before that.
Okay,
There's a few.
okay.
But anyway, yeah.
Great movie.
It's what made him a movie star. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
Sure.
There you go.
Like he was
That
just
definitely-
an actor. That made him a movie star.
Yeah, his reputation took a leap from that movie for sure.
Who
Burwell's
knew? All you have to
great
do is put a
as
rubber dick
supporting-
on.
That's right.
Definitely
But he was
missed
good.
an opportunity to squeeze good vibrations on that soundtrack from the
Sure.
Funky Bunch. But whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll let it slide.
You can squeeze my good vibration.
And the bonus track on the soundtrack was the terrible song of Dirk Diggler and Chester Rockwell singing that demo, trying to record. That's on there.
Oh, is it? That's cool.
We will ride. It was like, anyway, great stuff. I also had Dazed and Confused Dean, Top Gun I also had as well. Breakfast Club was on the list.
Ooh,
80s,
that's a good one.
80s,
Yeah.
big time. Don't You Forget About Me is an all decade
Right.
80s song for sure. Goodfellas, a lot of great 60s classic artists in that movie. Guardians of the Galaxy, a newer one. James Gunn certainly
those are good.
really did a great
For
job.
Father's Day, I just got the first one. They got me the
album.
first one, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of great 70s, 70s, 80s, early 80s songs in that. And an instrumental that really, probably the movie as a child, that the music really hit me and really made me appreciate an awesome sound, of the movie. We'll give you Star Wars, the great John Williams.
Yep, we had the 8-track of it.
Yeah, I had the LP of the soundtrack of that movie, from all the great John Williams stuff to the Cantina band that was in there and all that.
Yeah.
Just a great that again the score.
It was when
took
they
that
just
movie
put
to another
score
level.
out on albums.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Where there was no music, no artist. It was just the score, what you heard in the movie in that order.
I mean, Empire is way up there too from a soundtrack. The Imperial March is one of the greatest movie, scores of all time, in my opinion.
Do you think
just from all
kids
that.
still do that, Brian? Do you think
No.
kids still put on scores like we?
No.
I listened to multiple times that Star Wars score. Like I would put that 8-track on and just listen to it.
Me too. I could envision the parts of the movie that the music was playing. I just enjoyed it
because there was no VHS tape. There was no,
there's too many choices today. Too many choices today. You could just stream too many things today. You don't have the
kids are fucking stupid too. So
the appreciation of just sitting there listening to music like that. I mean, sort of they still have them. You still could listen to, like you said, you have the Guardian soundtrack. One album is the songs, the other one is the original score.
Correct.
So it's there, but it's just not appreciated. I don't think like it was when we were kids, for sure. So
have you ever made love to Take Your Breath Away from the Top Gun soundtrack? I'd like to do that sometimes, I think.
Sure.
I think that'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I actually was surprised that the WWE wrestling theme soundtrack was not on your listing. Some good ones on there.
That once. Yeah.
Some bangers on there, if you will.
You smell what Dean's cooking. I still yet have to tell that story on here. I know you guys tried to get me to.
No, you
I
did.
have not. Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure you did. We did it on the one we tell me 3 truths and a lie, or 3 truths and a lie. I think that was one of yours.
Okay, then,
I could be wrong.
Then go back in the archives, and if it's not there, let us know. Because I remember you saying that you need to tell that on the show, and I don't remember ever getting to it. I thought I didn't add that because of the
maybe I know we talked about it that night, so you might be right.
But I didn't tell the story.
Maybe didn't do it on there. I don't know.
Yeah, because there's a new level.
Yeah.
One of the girls there, I saw at a restaurant. She was my waitress.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's nice. Memories, friends.
Right?
Yeah. All right.
Memories.
One thing that also is not a lie, Nick, is where you can go get yourself a fine tattoo at our final sponsor, Golden Heart Tattoo, in Norton. Find them on Facebook at Golden Heart Norton, Norton. Go check out our partners there. Find them online at goldenhearttattoos.com or give them a call at 234-706-2982. And Scott will sing the Titanic soundtrack to you while he is tattooing. I know this firsthand. So it's a very it takes the whole tattooing to a whole other level, if you will. So ask for that and tell the Convincing Idiots sent you there, and ask for the Celine Dion tattoo special. There you have it.
Bam.
Gentlemen, we've come to the end.
We solved the world's problems.
Solved the world's
final
problems.
the final song on the soundtrack.
That is correct. That's correct. Nick.
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, Dean, what are you thinking here for an outro here? Would any? I have a thought that comes to mind a little bit, but do you have any thoughts?
It's been so long. He had a mention. God damn it, we have to have Barry Gibb do it.
I was thinking the exact same thing. Absolutely. Yep.
Well, Dean and Brian, you're both very kind and gracious.
Oh, I do got to piss, and this is going to make me pee my pants. Go ahead.
Well, you got to hang around. You're going to want to hang around for this one because it's going to be a long Saturday night. Because without further ado, I have to tell you where you can find us on your favorite websites. All you have to do is go to Google, type in Convincing Idiots. WordPress, that's right. There, you're going to find links to Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. Threads is on there now. That's right. We got Threads, they're a partner of Instagram. There's so many other great platforms for you to find us on. You can also go and find all that information on, where's that? www.convincingidiots.wordpress.com. And there, you can find where to listen to our lovely voices each and every week. You want to listen to us Monday? No problem. You want to listen to us Tuesday and Wednesday? Absolutely. Thursday and Friday? You bet your ass we're going to be there. And don't forget to rock with us on a Saturday night. Sundays we're there as well. I'm trying to think right now if there's anywhere else that we might be found on the internet.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
We also have a merch store. Have a merch in the merchandise.
About to walk away.
Maybe, perhaps you can get yourself a Convincing Idiots medallion to put around your neck and wrap in your chest hair. Perhaps maybe a nice, tall bottle of purified water with the Convincing Idiots logo on it so you can drink it down real nice and turn it into urine.
It's not even a thing.
It could be. All you have to do is talk to that beautiful man in the purple shirt right over there. He might be able to slap our logo on a bottle of water for you. So, for this episode of Convincing... Oh, I almost forgot. One of my favorite soundtracks of all time. All right. Baby Bladder's got to go to the bathroom, so we got to roll it on. For Convincing Idiots, I'm your millennial, Barry Nick Gibb.
Zenio Dean, let's go.
Right into the danger zone with Gen Prime.
Have we convinced you to meet us in the bathroom? Or take a pee in the trough? Come back, Dan! Dan!
Did you just see that shit? If you liked what you saw, like and subscribe. Come back. You're going to want to.